AHumbleSoul, we checking back in, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. If you're not already tapped in, man, and subscribe to the channel, hit the button ASAP. It's greatly appreciated. We put a video together previously highlighting the history of the game and 50 Cent as far as the game coming over to G-Unit, you know, in the early 2000s. This is around the time when 50 Cent and G-Unit has the rap game on smash. 50 Cent was arguably the biggest rapper out at that time. You know, his major label debut, Get Rich or Die Trying, you know, sold millions and millions and millions of copies in the US and worldwide. He put his team on, G-Unit, you know, their group album sold millions of records. They dropped individual projects that performed well. They all had hit records out, you know, individually and as a collective.
G-Unit is like the firm, because you get in, you can't get out. You feel me?
I did crack my whole life. Thanks to 50, I'm in this rap shit. Now it's over, because I've been hungry for years, and I'm tired of catching fucking cases on the block and dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to really get that money. This is G-Unit life right here, you know what I'm saying? We used to sell drugs, you know, bust guns and all that, but now we're chilling, we laid back, man. We doing us, we living. 50 got us right, we got us caked up right now.
You know, and around this time, you know, the game tapped in all the way from Compton, California. You know, he was originally under the Aftermath umbrella through Dr. Dre. Ended up linking up with 50 Cent and G-Unit. He released his major label debut, the documentary, in 05. And around this time, you know, like I said, 50 Cent is blazing hot. And he had worked on a lot of records with the game, you know, and helped him out with his debut album. A lot of his hit songs on that project, you know, 50 Cent reportedly had his hand in it.
No, it's different. There's a difference between a good rapper and a great songwriter. Game is a good rapper. If you give him a joint that got the chorus built in, he gonna knock the ball out the park. That's what I did for the nigga. I gave him 6. You see what I'm saying? So it's like West Side Story, Church for Thugs, Higher, Special, MVP, How We Do. That's 6, man. That nigga 6 records, man. 3 was his first 3 singles. So 5 million records. Came back by itself, did 900,000.
Go ahead, yeah. I just feel like with the game thing, y'all know what it is. Like, he was messing with Jimmy Henchman to get deep. It's deeper than rap. Y'all keep asking that dumb question.
God,
when
Laura.
his OGs
cooking
just
Laura
had people, feds knocking at my door. It's like the industry, y'all don't get it because it's not.
People don't get it.
It's the streets, y'all don't get it.
Squares, man. We're squares.
Yeah, I know.
We're squares, man.
All
right, so there it is.
It's deeper than that.
Why are you mad at me for being a square?
I'm not. Just Google it and you figure it out. You gotta Google something. Yo, listen. Let me explain something to you.
You wanted Yayo to turn up.
Let me explain something to you.
I did.
My views of the industry is there's a lot of snakes in it. Game was a snake that won. It was perfect timing for him. G-Unit was blowing. Understand? 50 was in the studio with Dre. He was in a little studio. Me and Banks is in a big studio. We here and Get Rich or Die Trying. We doing our freestyles. Fifth helped him. He gave him this How We Do, all these records. He's playing it on a balcony in a condo. Remember? And you gave him some hit records. He could have kept them records for himself.
Around a month after the game released the documentary, his crew and G-Unit clashed in New York City. Just a little backstory, you know, 50 Cent, he had became popular for going at Ja Rule and Murder Inc.
Yo, Pop Tart, sweetheart, you soft in the middle. I eat you for breakfast. Watch was exchanged for your necklace.
Around the time that 50 Cent was going at Murder Inc., he had released a song called Piggy Bank, and that was not only going at Ja Rule, but the artist who had decided to collaborate with Ja Rule on his song New York. And this is around the time that Ja Rule's career was on the decline, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent. When he released his song New York, featuring Jadakiss and Fat Joe, you know, that to a certain extent started to breathe new life into his career and kind of bring him back up to speed, man, and get his momentum back going. Around this time, you know, the game, he was one of the G-Unit members who decided not to jump in that beef and diss, you know, Jadakiss or diss Fat Joe or even Nas, because 50 Cent had dissed Nas around this time.
What's good, gang?
What's good, doggy?
Yo, what's up with that Jada and Fat Joe?
What you mean? What you want to know?
What's going on with them? How you feel? What's going on?
Where does it put you in the...
Man, it puts me, I'm going to stay out of it, man. Kiss has been one of my homeboys from, the early stages of my career on the underground mixtape level, and Fat Joe is a dude who I got love for in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Is TS Squad and Black Wall Street. We ain't got no problems, man. So, I'm just standing on the outside looking in, man.
He decided to stay out of it, and 50 Cent viewed that as him being disloyal. 50 Cent, he decided to kick the game out of G-Unit, and he did it publicly on a radio station. He did it actually originally while he was chopping it up with Ed Lover.
I recorded 6 records on Game's new album.
Right.
I did West Side Story, How We Do, Hated to Love It, Church for Thugs, Special, and Higher. You see what I'm saying? And he came back recently from overseas and was disrespectful, man. Like the way he's like, it's like he's feeling himself, like because of how well his record is selling.
Mm-hmm.
So I openly, I wouldn't expose what I did for the project, but I wrote those records. I created the concept of those records, and he rapped around it. It's incredible that he would come back and forget how much I've done for him.
Mm-hmm.
Personally. You know what I'm saying?
So where does he stand as far as G-Unit is concerned right now?
Across the street or around the corner. He's not in my camp.
But 50 Cent, during a conversation with Funkmaster Flex at Hot 97, he talked about helping the game, write his music, and how he wasn't really rocking with the game, and he wasn't a part of G-Unit. This is in late February of 2005. Members of the game's entourage actually went up to the radio station while 50 Cent and G-Unit were there. Somebody in 50 Cent's crew went outside, let off some shots, and a person in Game's entourage, he ended up getting hit. And then his DJ, New Jersey Devil at the time, he ended up getting grazed,
At the end of the day, niggas, we got banned. Who the niggas that got banned from Hot 97, nigga? We the reason why they call that shit Shot 97, nigga. We the reason. G-Unit. Who else? We the reason they call that shit Shot 97. Thank God the cameras wasn't all that back in the days. I'ma leave it there on that note, nigga.
Hey, come on, let's stop playing, nigga. I done hang with niggas with Mazaradi Fox pulled out to him in Apollo, nigga. Rest in peace, all Henchman and them. He gone and this shit is all documented, so I don't give a fuck. Come on, bro.
In December of 2006, it was another incident that took place, involving G-Unit and the game's manager, James Jimmy Henchman Roseman.
It's like G-Unit, we always the bad guys, but nobody ever see what anybody else does.
Look at this. And I don't think he knew what he was doing, that game. I think that
he didn't know how deep it was. Because Jimmy Henchman was in his ear.
It really was Jimmy's issues with Chris and just his business, where he was at. Because he was in a better space as a management company.
And when you say Chris, you mean Chris Lighty, rest in peace, yeah.
Because he was in a better space as a management company before he went away. And he came back, and Game would be his biggest asset as a new artist. So he didn't want it to be another part of 50 Cent's organ.
So he was trying to divide from the rip anyway.
But it's better, look, you got your own coast over here.
So take it back to December of 2006. It was a mixtape award ceremony that was being held at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. Tony Yayo and members of G-Unit's entourage, they were in attendance there, as well as Jimmy Henchman and a couple of his homies, a couple of his guys. According to reports, Jimmy Henchman and his people were at the entrance of the Apollo about to go through the metal detectors when they saw Tony Yayo and around 15 other dudes. And Jimmy Henchman, I guess he attempted to be the bigger man, and he went over and said, "What's up?" to Tony Yayo. And it's actually when Yayo decided to confront him and ask him about, the game. He was questioning him about why the game was dissing G-Unit, dissing 50, the whole G-Unit campaign. And Jimmy's homie stepped in and told Yayo, "Hey man, don't talk to Jimmy about the game, question the game about the game." You know what I'm saying? Jimmy has nothing to do with that.
What did you say? It was the Apollo, right? I could have avoided everything with Jimmy Henchman, but I had so much ego. Henchman came to me and said "Sock Passe," and Game was talking mad shit. Game wasn't there.
niggas had the things in there. And you know I had some knuckleheads with me, Mazaradi, Fox. You know, rest in peace. I had Monster with me. So it's like, when I seen Henchman, and you know, my ego was like, at the time I said, like, my ego, sometimes I was in the wrong. When he gave me that dap, I just was like, man, get the fuck up out of here. Nigga tried to hit me with the sock passe. I looked at that as like, you got game dissing us, friendly extortion.
But Jimmy and his dudes, man, they decided to walk upstairs, you know, in the Apollo, and members of G-Unit's entourage, you know, they followed them up the stairs. One of those dudes was reportedly Mazaradi Fox. For those who don't know, you know, Mazaradi Fox was an affiliate of G-Unit. He was a rapper, but more so he was a gangster, you know what I'm saying, from Queens. He reportedly pulled a gun out, you know what I'm saying, on Jimmy Henchman and his people, and asked Yayo to give him the word for him to let shots off inside of the Apollo.
That's crazy.
I told you, pull the strap out in the Apollo, like with Jimmy Henchman. Pull the strap out. Niggas wanna do, nigga. It's the Fox, nigga. He got the hammer out.
Jimmy and his people decided to leave the Apollo before things got crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't just stop there. You know, although Jimmy and his people left, they decided to go back to his homies' Escalade, you know, and as they sat inside the Escalade, they actually waited on Yayo and his people to leave. And while they were sitting in the Escalade, one of his homies ended up calling a friend and telling him to bring his guns, man, a couple of pistols and his machine gun. So they waited around, and they saw Yayo and his people come out of the Apollo, and they got into, you know, Yayo's white Bentley as well as a bulletproof SUV. So they pulled around and actually followed the vehicles up the block, and they saw the vehicles kind of pull over on a certain block. And when they noticed that, they pulled around to the next block and watched them. You know what I'm saying? They watched some of the people get out and start talking. And that's when they gave the green light, you know, to shoot the Bentley up. You know, Yayo talked about this in an interview, saying that he was actually in the bulletproof SUV instead of his white Bentley that he was known to have and known to ride around the city in. But his homie Lodi Mack and another person was reportedly inside of his Bentley when the shots let off.
Well, after everyone left the awards, your Bentley got shot up. You weren't in the car at the time.
No, I was in a bulletproof truck behind the Bentley.
You know, but that's just another incident involving this whole G-Unit war against Jimmy Henchman. You know, not necessarily the game, but the game's manager, James Jimmy Henchman Roseman, who's currently locked up right now serving life, you know. But just stay tuned, man. We're going to put some more videos together highlighting the history of G-Unit and Jimmy Henchman and how things escalated, man, and got real serious, you know. But yeah, man, just wanted to put a piece together on that. If you're not already tapped in and you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, share the video. It's greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely, it's greatly appreciated. Until next time, I'ma holler at y'all, man. 100.